Hey, Scott Balo, can you hear me? Fancy meeting me here. I love you, Scott Balo. Thank you for the emails. I really appreciate that. It's nice to know, somebody out there in the world cares about me. You are a gentleman and a scholar, sir. Oh, I'm telling you, last few days were kind of rough. I don't know. I felt a lot of, oh, I love you right back. Hey, M. Hobbs, how are you doing? Yeah, even though I'm not going to be part of the 24/7 stream anymore, Scott Baylor says gentlemen maybe. But yeah, even though I'm not going to be part of that, I still am going to do streams and Michelle is the name. Okay. Cool. I don't know. Did you hey Scott, did you watch any of the SMQ live casts today? Those were pretty cool. I saw like Rain in the Plains on there and a bunch of different people. I saw Poppy Elm popped in for a minute. I didn't see if Poppy uploaded anything about like her visit with some of the people in the group, but I'll be looking for that. Yeah, he did one with Dark Wolf Den today, and then he did another one that I missed, but I was listening to it a few minutes ago. I don't know. So crazy. I just noticed that lately, like emotions have been running high just all over the place. I mean, even in my personal life. Hey, Patrick, it's my Pooh Bear. But yeah, emotions have been running high all over the place, it seems. And even me and my husband have been, we went to Home Depot the other day to get paint, and I talked him into buying a bunch of lighting for the house. And, we were just kind of at each other, just right in the middle of Home Depot. So, I mean, it's not just within the group. I think it's, with most people in general. Just been super agitated after this last shift, it seems. I'm glad you're awake, Patrick. You looked so sleepy earlier. You must have gotten a second wind. And I just want to say, like, about that whole situation with Robert Wood, like, I really regret, like, even engaging with him like that. I just lost my temper. I mean, I do, at the end of the day, have a hot Irish temper. And it's, I've been working on it for years and years, just trying not to be that person. But, you know, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and let somebody say that I cheat on my husband. That's not me. I've never done it. And really, I mean, I haven't been with anybody else but him. So it's extra hard for me to hear that, you know, because I've just literally never been with anybody else but him. So, and like in a biblical way. Oh, did he? Well, that was nice. I mean, I really appreciate that. I'm glad he apologized. That's good. I mean, I don't hold any grudges or anything like that. I mean, the main thing is I just regret like the things I said, really. you know I mean, because I have a lot of friends who went off and fought after 9/11 and just came back and they weren't the same. A lot of them have PTSD and different issues. So, I mean, and I do appreciate his service to our country. I really, it really upsets me to see what happens to people who have to go over there and do those horrible things, go through that. Yeah, I feel really, it makes me feel really emotional and upset that he had to endure any suffering. Oh, that was sweet. I do appreciate that. Well, if you see him, tell him, that there's, no worries, no hard feelings. And I apologize for anything I said. I don't want to be a bad person or, you know. I think, at the end of the day, when I was looking at it, I really believe that he confused me with someone else. So I think he thought that I was like another live streamer. Because I noticed I rewatched it, to torture myself, of course, and I noticed that he was saying that I was asking for money, and I saw who he was talking about, and that's not me. And I have, because also he was saying you don't have any content on your channel, and I was thinking he's got to have me confused with somebody else. Abby, quit your crying. My dog's in the background whining. Well, I don't have anybody hardly in here, but oh well, what can you do? Yeah, but I'm really interested in S&Q was saying something about trying to forecast when these shifts are going to happen. And Scott Balo says, yeah, I think he's a great guy, and I love you, so I hope you guys can be cool. Yeah, I don't have any problems with him, really. I mean, and I mean, just by looking at it, I just think he had me confused with somebody else, and that's an honest mistake. Hush, Abby, quit crying. She's just like a basic crybaby in the background. And I just think, like I said, emotions were running high, and I mean, even in my personal life, I mean, whew, me and my husband have been having a rough time getting along lately. So, I mean, just even my boss at work has been a jerk, but that's normal. Let's see. I don't even know how many people I have watching. I'm trying to see if I can see it, but who knows? It is weird, and I would like to be able to try to put in some research as to what's going to happen. I think, Abby, please stop crying, baby, please. I mean, I think that Rain on the Plains is on to something. She sits there and tracks the temperature, temperature changes to see, if the forecast temperature and the actual temperature jive. And if it's off so many degrees, like she knows that something's going on. And, that could be true. And, I used to really follow the Schumann resonance, like the spikes in the atmospheric electricity. And I mean, just with all the lightning problems. Here, let me get this dog out of here. Go on. If you can't be happy, just go on. Get out of here. Come on, guys. Go on, Penny. Good Lord. She just would not quit crying. Patrick says, that's too bad about you and your husband. Maybe you need to give him a special night to cheer him up. I don't know. We're just stressed because we're approaching our deadline for having our house fixed up. And we owe a lot of money and things like that. Oh, I knew what you meant. I mean, I tried to make him dinner the other night and things like that, but it's just, whatever. I mean, that's the way marriages are, though. I mean, we've been doing this for nearly 20 years. It'll be 20 years, like July 25th. And so it's just, that's the natural, it goes up and down. It's like the tide. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not so good, but you stick in there. And a lot of times people are like, do you have any advice for, because I sell engagement rings. So they're like, do you have any advice, for a marriage? I'm like, just, stick it out no matter what. I mean, unless there's abuse going on, it is worth it in the end, I think, if you can. Not everybody can make it last. And Scott Valo says, that's interesting. I wonder how many outside influences there are that affect us, like temperature, Schumann. I really believe, I used to really follow the Schumann resonance. And, when I would start to see spikes, that's when I would start to ground and meditate. And, when I started to interfere with my camera systems and, my face would morph and stuff like that, it got to where like I didn't want anybody to really see that, and I've really stepped away from doing that lately, just because of that. Like it was almost like I felt like people were seeing me naked or something. It was just like something. That's why I started doing Google Hangouts instead of using my camera, because I just don't want people. I feel like it's private. Like I don't want people to see it. So. But I noticed that there was another person that's been happening to, and he was out in the desert, like I think in Arizona or New Mexico, and he was at some place that had like a that was known for being like an energetic cross point, and the same thing was happening to him. Like he was standing there, and his face was like literally morphing, and it was morphing to the point where it looked like he was in front of a green screen. And it was really strange. Like there would be points where you just could not see his face. And so those synchronicities are coming up for me. I'm starting to see like more and more people who are having like anomalies like that. So I think it's some kind of energetic interference. That's for sure. And I think I also want to say, I think it's really sad that, the 24/7 group and the Jason Christopher group are at odds, because I think there are a lot of similarities. I think a lot of us like a lot of the same stuff. And I think I thought those two groups would like meld really well and get along. And I even tried to send MA and Scott Harrison like SMQ's information, say, hey, maybe you should, interview this guy or live stream with it. Like I think if MA and the SMQ guy got together, they might come up with some answers, So it's unfortunate. And I just think that because of all the infighting and fighting between groups and stuff, I think that just shows that we're onto something. So, I mean, because in my life personally, I've found that whenever there's resistance, that means that you're on the right path. Because, I think it's interesting that Rain on the Plains has been reading a lot of the Nag Hammadi lately, like some of those scriptures and writings. Like she's been reading the Book of Enoch and all that. Because when you read in the Nag Hammadi about the archons, the Nag Hammadi's got like it's kind of linked to the Bible, but it's like the teachings that they hid. And a lot of it people consider blasphemous, because it has a different creation story. It basically says that, Adam was created, and then Eve, basically, there's a line of Cain, and then there's a line of Abel, and that Cain was, was brought up through like Eve's defilement with Satan. So, I mean, it's all kind of interesting. I mean, and when they speak about the archons, they're like these dark forces that feed upon us and try to change us. So, hey, Lindsay, glad to see you, sweetheart. Really love you. I love all you guys, and I appreciate you. So, but yeah, I think that if you read some of the stuff, it's available free online. If you read some of the stuff about the archons, I mean, they have the ability to, according to these books, they have the ability to really change our environment, to change our perception of things, to morph reality. And, they're kind of described as almost robotic type beings, which I think is interesting since, a lot of, there are famous videos online of scientists who say, oh, there's computer code in the very fabric of life. If these archons are some kind of like electronic being that feeds upon us, I mean, it would make sense that they manipulate our environment, and they could be responsible for some of the darker changes that we see. Scott Balo says, I think it's, let's see, I missed something. Scott Balo says, I agree. People seem too quick to give up on a relationship because one or two fights. Yeah. I think we put the, well, fine, I'll just leave. Well, yeah, because I mean, we live in a society now basically where it's, it's an instant gratification society. And, a lot of us, I mean, even me included, growing up watching television, I mean, I had this idea of what it was going to be like when I was an adult, what a marriage was, what it was to have children, like this pie in the sky kind of perfect image of what relationships, marriage, and life after high school would be. And I found out very quickly that was not the case, that there is no real white picket fence or happy ending. I mean, life just is what it is. And it's really hard to accept that when you've been programmed all your life to think that that's not the way it is. I just really think that normalcy is like a television lie. So Scott Balo says, I think it's going to work out eventually because people who are trying to start shit between groups wouldn't do it unless we were both a good group of people. Yeah. I think there are just some people that just enjoy chaos. That's just the way the world works. And Patrick Roberts says, what started the fight between MA and I Am? Well, apparently Life Matrix is a good friend of Jason Christopher's. And, they used to do, Jason Christopher used to do kind of like a radio broadcast style channel. And I think Life Matrix was like his guest a few times. I think they're just friends. They just know each other. And you know how it is. I have a best friend that I grew up with. We've been best friends since 14. And if somebody started shit with him, even if I didn't know that person, I'd be like, hey, buddy, you need to step back. I would be sticking up for him, even if I didn't know that other person. And I think it just kind of started a chain reaction because, Life Matrix made comments on some videos and that didn't sit well. And it's just, the dark forces attempt to keep people fighting and not communicating. It's just like, when you go into a church, I used to be a member of the Catholic Church, and they're always like, oh, well, if you're not Catholic, you're going to go to hell, which is total bullshit because they don't really teach you the truth of what they know. They're an institution that takes in large amounts of money. And, every Christian religion, whether it be Baptist or whatever label you want to put on it, basically believes the same thing. So it's a way for the devil to separate. But it was just like a little beef that got out of control. Yeah, Linsby says it's easier to leave than stick it out. And she knows, I mean, she's been married for a while. She knows. And Scott Balo knows. I think, Scott, you've been with your girl for a long time. Because he says the reward of sticking it out is so much better than jumping from lever to lever. It's true. And Scott Balo was like, yeah, he just did what any of us would do for each other. Yeah, I mean, it's normal. If somebody was jumping on my friend, especially somebody that, I'm friends with, on a real personal level, I mean, I would stick up for that person. And see, Scott's been with his baby for 9 years. And Lens V says there's been electricity in the air with the full moon last night. And, yeah, I mean, sometimes, over the past week, I was thinking Jesus is like Mercury in retrograde or something. What is going on? It's just so crazy. I don't know. A lot of times I just don't know what to think about this place. But I'll tell you today, I woke up and Yeah, I felt pretty good. I was pretty happy. I've been swollen for the past few days. I think I ate something I was allergic to. And see, Lynn says, I think it may have been, I actually think Saturn may be in retro. See, something like that, whatever the planetary alignments are. I don't know. I have the belief that those things are the way they're described in the book of Enoch, you know, that they're actually like organic living things. I mean, to me, that makes more sense than, you know, the scientific explanation. Scott Balo says, I've never been able to keep feelings for anyone this long, but I love her just like it's a honeymoon phase. Oh, I like to hear that. That's so sweet. That's the way I feel about my husband. Like, we never run out of things to talk about. I'm always like, I feel like I'm always kind of chasing him, like we're dating. Like, he's always like, when I look at him and then I see other men, like, I really don't think I've ever personally seen somebody I think is more attractive physically. I mean, we still like feel a lot of romance for each other, so it's nice. I mean, but we were really good friends before we got married too, you know. Lindsay says, she said, I've been swollen and inflamed, eczema is flaring up. Yeah, me too. Just like I feel like my face is very swollen. I went to the store and just spent like $40 on like some high grade like turmeric, and I'm hoping that's gonna help me out. Scott Baylor says she has a great booty. It does help. And that's what I say about my husband. He's a pretty attractive guy, so he can get away with a lot of junk. And he knows it. And it's funny because when we're in public, like I think sometimes people look at us and they think, Jesus, like we don't match. Because he's a lot better looking than I deserve, probably. But yeah, I'm really interested in trying to research and do some, trying to see if we can predict what these changes are going to be, like when they're going to be, so at least we can be mentally prepared. Because we also seem to be able to recognize them afterwards. Oh, thank you, Scott Baylor. That was sweet. Patrick says, I'm pretty swollen too. It's kind of curious. But at any rate. Oh, and I also I saw Teresa. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with, like, I'm sure you are, with Brian McFarlane. And I saw Teresa, the one with the red hair. I know. I saw that in Hobbs, but I'm just like, I just kind of glazed over that. So at any rate, yeah, I saw that they had a falling out. I don't know what that's about. I've been trying to search his live streams to see if anybody's talking about it, but she seems pretty distressed. So I subscribed to her channel, and I'm hoping. I mean, I was trying to reach out to her, but there's really no way to contact her. I saw her in one of SMQ's live streams, and I was trying to reach out to her, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty uptight when it comes to sex and things like that. So it's just the way I was raised, and I don't know. Didn't really like, my household. We just didn't really talk about it very much, and I don't know. Like I said, I've only ever been with my husband, so it kind of freaks me out. Like, I think I just seen her die. See, Lindsay, I went to her channel and there was really no way to message her like that I could see. But I'm gonna look into it some more and maybe see about having her come on, or Maybe do some research with, because I know she's a great researcher. She really is one of those people that's like Mandela affected that can point out the changes pretty quickly. They just, like, I saw a lot of people are coming out with these airplane engine videos lately, you know, and that's something MA like pointed out weeks ago. So, I mean, he saw it right when it happened. And another funny thing is, I was in a live stream earlier, and SMQ was saying something about Butterfinger candy bars. I mean, it's just a small synchronicity, but he was saying something like, he used to hate Butterfingers and now he's eating them all the time. And it was so funny because my daughter just made me like a big paper mache Butterfinger. And I was telling her about it, and she was like, "Well, there's a Mandela effect with Butterfinger." I was like, "There is," and she was like, "Yeah." She was like, "The F makes the dot over the I now," and I was like, "Well, did you make it the old way?" She's like, "No, I just made it the new way because I didn't want to draw attention to myself at school." And see, Linz was saying, I see a lot of stuff nobody ever talks about. Yeah, and I see a lot of little changes here and there, and I've gotten to the point where I just kind of brush them aside. Hey, Poppy Elm, how are you doing? How did your food come out? And did you meet up with the other people from the group that were supposed to come see you today? Yeah, my daughters they're pretty sweet, especially, my older one. She really she's funny. She's a flat earther big time. She believes it is exactly like the Bible, that there's a firmament and all that stuff. And she will sit there and she studies the Bible and things like that so much that she will sit there and debate adults on flat earth, and she can just tear them down every time. She can overcome any argument they bring up, and it's really funny. She's only 17. Una Mundy, hey, how are you? I feel like I have a celebrity in here, guys. I want to tell you, Una Mundy, like your videos just mean so much to me. I watch every single one of them. I just think that, you're just a brilliant guy, and I just feel so honored that you're even in here right now. I feel like you're a celebrity. Wow. I'm like grinning from ear to ear right now. Let's see. Poppy Elm said that Rationally and Colleen came over. Food was good. That is awesome. I mean, it's really nice to you're welcome, Unimundi. But that's awesome that you're able to have people, that we communicate with online over and, hang out in real life. Scott Balo says, I've been buying 2 huge Butterfingers a day, and I wonder what is up with that. Like, why is everybody craving Butterfingers right now? It's so strange. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that she made this huge paper mache Butterfinger. It's really crazy. And Poppy Elm says, I love that I'm getting to meet people in real life. Yeah, I mean, hey, Unimundi, I consider you family too, my friend. And see, that's part of the purpose of my husband and I buying this large piece of land. Like, I would like to make an area where maybe we can have a healing center, that grow herbs and, help people out that maybe can't afford medical insurance, or, if it comes to a time where, our money systems break down. I mean, at least there's, people who are in this region know that there's like maybe a safe place they can come, you know, because the inner cities may not be safe in the future. I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen. Scott Balo says, Poppy and I were talking about when we're going to make the community a permanent thing. We both thought it'd be about 7 to 8 years from now. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. I mean, if you believe in the Bible, and if you believe that, or even like some of the more ancient writings. I mean, because let's face it, I mean, a lot of the stuff in the Bible, was written about before then. I mean, it's a rehashed story. Um, it just, I think it just shows that, you can't trust your history. History is not set in stone. I mean, it's a sliding thing. I think we all realize that at this point. You know, that time is just, it's like an infinite circle. Future's uncertain. All you really have is right now, in this moment. So at any rate, but yeah, I think just to kind of talk to Unimundi, I think that you would be interested to know that there's this guy. His name's SMQ AI, and I don't know if you're aware of him, but he's trying to figure out if there's a way to predict when these shifts are going to happen. And I don't know if you would have any input on that. I mean, if you're ever up to it, I would love for you to join a hangout, or I would love to hear what you have to say about it. If you think that there's a way that we can predict this stuff, so that maybe we can all be prepared when shifts are coming up. Because we can certainly all see when they've happened. Just like this week, emotions have been running high. A lot of people have had physical problems, and I just think that you know if we could find some predictors, that would be that would just be really great. Hey, Robert Wood. I can't see any of your comments. I'm not really sure why. I thought I had unblocked everybody. Let's see. Yeah, I can't even see you as a participant, but happy birthday. I just want you to know that I regret any unkindness that I showed towards you. Um, and I understand that from my perspective, I just feel like maybe you had me confused with someone else. Because I remember at one point you said that I didn't have any content on my channel and I haven't shown my face. But if you look back at my channel, I have live streamed, and I do show my face. And I don't have any wrinkles, even though I'm in my 40s. I use Retin-A. So yeah, I'm not sure why I can't see you, but no, I mean, Lynn's is saying I don't need to apologize to him, but I just don't want there to be any bad blood. You know, that's not my style. So I just feel like if every day I go before the Lord and I speak to Him, I don't want to have anything laying on my heart, and so I've asked for His forgiveness, and that's all I can do. And now it's in God's hands. But at any rate, I don't know. I can't see anything. If he's saying anything, I can't see it for some reason. But Scott Bailey says he wants to be able to predict or figure out how to win roulette. See, I'll tell you this, Scott Bailey. My husband is able to predict the Super Bowl, who's going to be in it and who's going to win it every year. And I'm not really sure. It's like a numbers thing for him. He's able to see some kind of number coding in this reality that I just don't get, because mathematics is like a language I can't speak. I have a degree in fine art, so I never was very good at mathematics. In college, I had to take the lowest remedial of math. I had to take 2 remedial math classes to just get through college. So, I mean, I'm not very good at numbers, but for some reason, he's able to see the coding in reality. And I mean, he predicts it every year. And people always ask him, oh, no, he will not bet on it. And everybody always asks him, well, why don't you bet on it? And he just says, that would be like a misuse of what I see. He's a really like humble guy. He, doesn't need much in this life. He's um, he's really a sweet person, you know, and he just doesn't. He feels like if he can see these things, if he can see this coding, and he sits there and uses it to make money, then that would be using like a gift from our Lord for an evil purpose. So yeah, Scott Bayless says, I don't get anything out of basic math. Yeah, and I even sometimes struggle with basic math. So that's just the kind of person I am. It's just there's some kind of disconnect in my brain. Lens V says, I'm sure it's a numbers thing. I can see the same code, but I don't work it out at all because I really don't care about football. Football is like they're like modern day gladiators, really. But yeah, my husband, he is a really good guy. He's very sweet. And I had a hacker get into my page, like, or actually, they infiltrated my Facebook and my YouTube a little while back and deleted all my videos and stuff. But they messed up my Facebook pretty good. Scott Baylor says it's only evil if he used it to do bad things with money. I don't know. Just my husband Joseph just has the opinion that money's evil in general. He works as little as possible to get by. He's got a couple degrees, but he works for UPS just because it's a solitary job and he doesn't have to speak to many people. Yeah, both of us are kind of empathic, and being around a lot of people causes us both kind of stress, even though I'm a salesman for a living, because, we do have daughters and a mortgage and all that junk. But, he's not really able to, he kind of keeps to himself. He would never be able to do what I'm doing right now, this live streaming. He's aware of it. He's aware that I'm doing it now, but he's just like, I don't understand why you do that. And I was like, I just feel like it's a good release. There's not really many people you can talk to about these things. Um, you know, I grew up like in a really difficult situation, even though my parents are extremely wealthy. They are Masons. I mean, I was raised pretty harshly. I have one sister that's left the country to get away from it, and I have another brother who's basically insane over it, and just a hopeless drug addict. He lives with my parents still. He just kind of isolates himself in a bedroom. So I mean, he's a little older than me. I mean, he used to have it all, and he's finally broken down over the whole thing. But let's see. Linsby says at Poppy Elm, he had a great message. I made a video uploading it tonight. Cool. Poppy Elm says I'm allergic to ants. Ooh, that's horrible. Scott Baylor says, I'll never understand why people watch sports unless you can't play them yourself. Yeah. I think that men tend to watch sports so that they can have like a common bond, because in our modern society, nobody hunts anymore, really, not for survival. And I think it's a way for them to get together. I think, when we lived more of a tribal existence, if we ever did, I mean, who knows? I mean, our history could all be bullshit. But, if we did, back in the day when we lived tribal lifestyles, I think all the men would get together and forage for food and hunt and have like a common bond. And those things are lost in modern society. And that's something that Joseph and I are trying to get back to. That's another reason we're buying the 63 acres. So we're just really lucky. I feel like it was it was led by our creator for us to get that land. We were able to put some money down on it, and it's a private sale, so the guy is just kind of holding it for us until we sell our house. And he understands that we didn't want to move till the summer. So as soon as we can get this place sold and build a deck for our geodome, we're going to be out there. It's illegal to live off the grid, but you are allowed to do it if you have You just have to have the service. You just have to have water service and have electrical service. That doesn't mean you necessarily have to use it. Puppy Elm says, my kids play baseball, so I have to watch that. I mean, I think sports are fine. I don't know. I don't have anything against sports. Puppy Elm says it's a substitute for battle. I agree. Scott Baylor says, that's different. I meant to watch it on TV. It's just so bizarre to me. Yeah, I've never really been into it. It's just not something that, I mean, I used to play softball when I was a young girl. I used to do competitive English saddle. And, I don't know. Other than that, I just really don't enjoy watching sports. I mean, I like to play, but I don't like to watch. Lindsay says hubby watches and calls plays before they happen. He watches for strategy. Yeah, he rides dirt bikes to get the aggression out. Yeah, I mean, I think whatever works for somebody, they should do. Hey, Rain on the Plains, it's my sister. Let's see. Unimundi says hunt no animals or life matters, and I agree. Like if I absolutely had to hunt for survival, like if I lived in an Arctic region where there isn't a lot of plant life, I mean, I think that would be one thing. I would respect the animal, and thank it for giving me its life. But I don't personally consume many animal products. I do eat. I was trying to be a vegan, but I got sick. I'm trying to learn how to sprout seeds and trying to learn how to take in different forms of protein. But, I am eating eggs, but I know the guy who raises the chickens and they're running around free. They're pretty happy. I don't want to take like the suffering into my body of a tortured animal. That's my whole thing. And, I love animals. Yeah, I don't want to hurt any animal at all. Let's see, but I do live in Mississippi and it's the South and a lot of men hunt here. So I understand both sides of it. Poppy Elm says my husband watches basketball. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't understand basketball very much. Let's see. Scott Baylor says, I hope everyone uploads a picture if they have them. A picture of what? What are y'all doing? Oh, hidden recipes? Hmm, I don't know. I really want a Butterfinger. That is so fun. I'm going to go get the paper to show Butterfinger she made. It was really cute. Let's turn my camera on so y'all can see it. Give me that fluffy stuff. No, stay out, Abby. You're just gonna cry, baby, while I'm live streaming. My dog likes to sit there and cry in the background when I live stream. Let's see. Oh, the scars on her back. Oh, the back scratches. Now, if you're getting scratches on your back while you're sleeping, is it 3, like a line of 3? Let's see if I can get my mouse to work. Of course, I'm having technical difficulties. My mouse is giving me fits. I can't even get there it goes. Let's see. Is it on? There it is. Sorry, guys, I look terrible. Been doing yard work all day. Let's see if I can fix this. It's going to be out of sync. Okay. But yeah, this is the well, it's not too bad out of sync. Look, this is the little, isn't it cute? My daughter made it in art class. She's a sweet little baby. But I was like, she was saying that there's a Mandela effect with the F coming over to make the eye, to make the spot of the eye. But I asked her, I was like, well, did you make it the way you remember? And she's like, no, I made it the current way. And I can't show you one without the other. So this is like what my other daughter made. It's like fluffy stuff. Isn't that cute? They're creative. It's like they did some paper mache thing in art class. They're very sweet little babies. Oh, the camera isn't on. Let me see. It's like I can see it, but there it is. Okay. Hey guys, sorry I look so terrible. But can y'all see it now? Well, I'm trying to get it on. Oh, you can see it? Okay. Look, there's the Butterfinger thing. Wait, it's upside down. Isn't that cute? I do. Thank you. I don't know. Isn't it sweet? I just love all the little stuff they make for me. And then the other one made fluffy stuff. It's really sweet. And I was like, is this my Mother's Day present? And they were like, no, we got something else planned. Every year I always ask them to just please make me something. You know, I don't really need, I don't want them to buy things. Yeah, the T's. Yeah, it was like the T. She said with this, but the T's used to not be connected, and then the F didn't connect into the dot of the I like that. But I mean, it's crazy. I don't look crazy, do I? I don't have any like energy coming out of my face. I haven't been meditating. I've stopped. And you can see like I'm red and swollen right now. I just had like a terrible like allergic reaction to something. I don't know. The pi symbol. Look at the T's. Hmm. Oh yeah, it is. I didn't even notice that. It is pi. I wonder if like the Mandela effect's trying to tell us that pi is bullshit. I don't know. See, I don't know about all that. That's like not my strength. It's very odd. But yeah, she said she didn't want to catch flack from the kids at school, so she made it the current way. I mean, she gets enough shit with trying to tell people that the Earth is not what we think it is. Because when my husband and I went and did all of our experiments back in 2010 with camera zoom over Lake Pontchartrain in Louisiana, you know how you can see one side from the other side of the lake. When we did all that, she was there. I mean, our kids were there. They could see that, you know, you couldn't apply the mathematics properly, that the curve is not what, you know, you think it is. So I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, it's a paper mache Butterfinger my daughter made. My oldest one made in art class. They're both like in advanced art. Let's see what people have been saying while I've been yapping. Lynn said, can you imagine how long it would take to eat that if it was real? Yeah, that would be pretty good. It'd be pretty bad for you too, I would imagine. Music policy video. Oh, for the live streaming, yeah. Rabbit. Martha Jane, you are beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't like really enjoy wearing makeup. I do wear it to work because our boss like requires us to. He says that that's part of our uniform because we're selling jewelry. We have to look our best. Hey, Shippin, how you doing? Let's see. Lynn said Lynn Scott Bailey says, Lynn's, I could eat it in a day or two. Yeah, probably me too. And I would, look all, I mean, you can see like my lupus is acting up bad. Like you can see I'm swollen, like on my chest. My skin's very red. And I don't want to start taking my lupus medications again. Like I can see my butterfly starting to come back. Let's see. Wascally Rabbit says, as far as the reference to pi goes, I think that it's the fact that the number continues on. That's a good point. I mean, maybe it's trying to tell us about our linear perception of time. I mean, it just, to me, I think that it's just my opinion that these changes have been happening. The only reason that it's observable is because we're all connected via this technology. And Dark Wolf, I really enjoyed your show today. That was really very good. It was so awesome. Yeah, infinite number is pi. Oh, Patrick Roberts put a user in timeout for 300 seconds. I don't know. I don't know who that was. I unblocked everybody today, so I'm not sure who it is. Who knows? And I'm sorry I can't see you, Robert Wood. I don't know. Yeah, I bought some watermelon water with tart cherry in it today because I remembered you said that tart cherry juice was good for inflammation. Yeah, he's really like this guy. I don't know his real name, but the SMQ guy, he's just really a smart person. I mean, he sees things and I mean, he's so well versed. He's the kind of person like I wish I was, but you know, Lindsay says I still have some in my fridge. I should take it. Yeah, I'm trying. It's just so hard. It's hard having to deal with all these autoimmune disorders because I have like Sjogren's, I have lupus, I have all kinds of problems. I try to treat them naturally. I refuse the medications, but right now it's not working out for me. I probably should take some of my medications that I have, but I just don't want to. I just don't want to. He put Robert Wood in timeout so he had time to drink a beer. Oh my goodness. To each their own. Yeah, I went through my subscription list today and unsubscribed to a lot of people. I think I had a lot of stuff on there that I just wasn't really watching anymore. That way I can focus on people that, I'm interested in what they have to say. I think this is a really good platform for everybody to get together and kind of brainstorm and just throw ideas out there so that maybe like as a collective we can figure this thing out. And not just like within that 24/7 group, because I've emailed Scott and MA. Well, I messaged them over YouTube and just told them I just didn't want to participate in it anymore. But I mean, I'm still going to do live streams. I just, I don't want to be affiliated with that per se. It just, I don't know. I think that I just don't think that I'm one of those people who studies the changes well enough to be in it. Although I do perceive changes, a lot of mine tend to be really personal. I just don't. I don't know. I mean, just like somebody like Corey Jade, like she's really good at, she's really into the research. And I'm just not. I'm more into like the philosophy behind why this is happening, and maybe like trying to be there for somebody who's worried and afraid about this. Just because I've been seeing the changes for so long, for most of my life, just like Rain on the Plains was saying, it just seems to me like I don't know. I'm more of a person that that's empathic and really just cares about people hurting. I mean, it upsets me to think that there are people out there that are worried and afraid over this. Let's see. Lindsay says you have to stay on top of it because when you dip down low, it just snowballs and you're out for a while. Yeah. Shickham says I have so many, it confuses Big Brother. Shickham says I'm going to be doing research, but I don't want to do a channel. Yeah, I mean, like I went through that phase where I was researching everything, and my husband and I were we were just kind of like in our own world for a long, long time. And I mean, it's kind of continued that way, but we used to go out there and just do like physical experiments, just constantly, because we realized that we had been lied to about the nature of the realm we live in. It really overwhelmed us for a few years. Chicken says I will give links to people to help out. Rain on the Plain say logos seem trivial. And I do think in some ways they are, but I think in some ways, just like with the Butterfinger thing, there must be some reason for that. I mean, what if it's like some kind of pattern trying to communicate with you? I mean, really, the concept that these effects like communicate with you just really fascinates me. And I'd like to look into it more. I think there's other ways that you can probably try to communicate with this thing, whatever it is. And earlier, Patrick was asking, is it good or evil? And, I really believe it's both. I think it's God trying to poke at you, or our creator trying to say, hey, it's not what you think it is. And then I think it gets infiltrated, you know. And I mean, Robert Wood did say something interesting the other night where he was saying, I think this is a theme park. And, that occurred to me last year when my husband and I first, and I know it might be programming, but my husband and I watched Westworld. And I mean, when I first saw the first episode, I mean, I sat there and cried. And I just said to him, do you think that's what we are? Do you think that's why they made this show, to try to put it out there? Because when I was a young girl, I was always taught that, being raised by people in the Masonic order, I was always taught that you had to put it out there. You had to tell people what you were doing in order to keep the karma from coming back on the entire order. It's to keep yourself safe. So let's see. Let's see what people are saying. Wascally Rabbit says, I think my problem is that I want to help everyone and it makes it complicated. And also, sometimes people can be really, they can take advantage of your help. They mistake your kindness for weakness and it makes things hard. I'll give you an example. I used to work at like part-time at a vape shop. And, I was really good at making all the coils and, I've always have sales jobs. So I had that as a small part-time job for some extra money. And there was a woman that I spoke to in there, and she was telling me how her food stamps, she was on disability. Her food stamps had been, reduced. And I felt really bad for her. So I asked her for her address and I went and bought groceries and I brought them to her. And when I showed up, I mean, there was like empty liquor bottles everywhere and, it smelled like marijuana in there. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't buy groceries, but you can buy marijuana and stuff. So it just really, and then she started to kind of hound me and harass me. So it's like, that happens to me constantly, where I try to help someone and it backfires on me. I don't know. Shickham says, I've seen an Emmy just today in my front yard. Huh, what was it? Let's see. Maybe I'll see in the chat. It says, well, there it is. Remember the R's and A's joined for RA. That's true. Yeah, for Amun Ra. Hubby and I went through, Lindsay says, hubby and I went through something similar, but we have been on and off with research because we have never ending, too much misinformation is out there. It's true. Scott Bayless says, I was thinking about that all day, the theme park thing. And the reason I say that is because it's a video that got deleted by my hacker. But when I first started trying to communicate with the group, I made a video about how my husband and I got together. And if for those of you that don't know, when I first met my husband, I swear I saw him and I looked at the girl I was with and I was like, that's the man I'm going to marry. And it was kind of a joke, but there was something about him that seemed very familiar to me. So, we got to talking and things, and he was actually dating someone, and I, of course, wasn't dating anybody. And, I was a freshman in college. And he started to come around, and he told me that that he was sleeping. He woke up, and that Jesus Christ, he saw like a ball of light, and the ball of light became a person, and the person told him to follow him. So he followed this person. Then the person brought him up above where we live. And he said he stood there, and it was like he was standing on a solid surface, but when he looked down, he could see all of the nature of the place where we lived. And what he basically saw were the continents that we know, an ice wall, and then continents beyond, and like never-ending ice. So, and he saw, whoo, I don't know what just happened. Ooh, what? That is crazy. Did y'all see that? See, the machine doesn't like it when I talk about that. So, yeah, that just goes to show you. I do. Yeah, I'm live streaming. Love you. Sorry. My daughter, guys. But at any rate, so can y'all still hear me and everything? Let's see. So, yeah, it glitched. So, okay, we can still hear me. All right, good. No, I didn't. It just glitched out. But so when he was brought above the world, like he could see that there was a sun and then a dark sun, and he could see that existed in both places. Come on, babies, don't fight. It's my dogs.
Get Abby, come on, let's get. Go.
Distractions.
Come on, Penny.
It's okay. You can leave the door open. It's okay. You can leave it open. But at any rate, so I don't know. So at any rate, so he's standing up there. He can see the nature of where we live, and he says that he sees Jesus, and he meets him face to face. And he said that Jesus had red hair, that he had these beautiful green eyes, but that his face was like light, like it was hard to look at him. It was hard to really perceive his features. So my technology is going right. So anyway, so then he showed my husband like a vision of me dead. And he asked him, he said, do you want this woman to die? And my husband told him no. And he said, well, then you have to marry her, because if you don't marry her, she will die. And he showed him a vision of me, like, with my wrist cut, like in a bathtub, like I had committed suicide, which, is not that far off from the truth because, I attempted suicide because of the physical trials my parents allowed us to go through. When I was 7, I tried to hang myself in a closet with a belt. And then when I was 14, I took an overdose of Ativan, my dad's tranquilizers. So, um, I know a lot of people say we're dead. And I mean, those are 2 points I could have died. Although I don't believe I'm dead. I just don't think it works like that. I don't know though. I mean, I can be proven wrong. I mean, but if we have died, I mean, our consciousness is going on. So, I mean, that's why sometimes I worry, like the episodes of Westworld just really upset me so much because, I look at those things and I think, is that what we are? Are they telling you because they have to? And then when I heard Robert Wood say that it was like a theme park, that comes up for me over and over again, especially with him seeing that vision. And I do believe that without my husband, I would be dead. I mean, I really think he saved me in a lot of ways. He helped me come to the Lord. I mean, before then, I mean, I was just like a rebel. I was a pagan. I was, you know, I mean, I didn't believe in the mystery religions that my parents practiced, but I was pretty out there. I mean, I was running around. I used to belong to a group that does suspension piercing. I do have some scarring from that, but just really into a lot of like self-harm and not cutting, but the piercing, and the hanging. But let's see what y'all are saying in chat. Let's see. Corey J says, "You look different, Martha. Maybe it's the camera angle. I don't know, younger." Thank you. Oh no, I'm actually pretty swollen today. Maybe the swelling's filling in my wrinkles. I'm not sure. Let's see. It says somebody said I'm meant to be here. Thanks, Shukum. I hope so. I hope that, so a lot of times I think that and I've stated it before that we're the elect, that are meant to see this, that are meant to survive until, the our reality switches over into like a new place, hopefully. Says Linsby says, so young, maybe him going there went through time to pull you out of those times as well. Maybe so. I mean, it's something I don't really, I mean, I've spoken about it, but it's hard to say, and it's hard to admit that your parents, I don't want to get emotional, but that your parents like allowed you to be hurt as a child, to see what you would become. Like for me, I was supposed to marry a politician. I was supposed to be a healer. And I watched girls get terrorized and hurt pretty badly during those times. So I mean, it was a rough upbringing. We were put in cages and left there for endurance sometimes. I'm sorry. But I mean, those things were hard for me to get over. And like in a lot of my younger years, I abused myself, and I just I didn't know any better because when you're raised improperly like that, I think that you believe you deserve it on some level. I did for a long time believe that I deserved to suffer. So I don't think that anymore. Thank God. I mean, especially after being in prison and coming back out. I mean, I really believe that God doesn't want me to suffer anymore. I don't think he wants any of us to. And I do believe in God. So, I mean, I communicate with him through dreams sometimes. So, and Shookham says there really isn't such a thing as death since the earth life is not our home. Yeah. And I think, we're just kind of here, but not really here in some ways. Sorry, I didn't mean to be a crybaby. Unimundi says, let's see, it's AI social engineering to feed your feelings. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think I think they mess with our food and everything else. So, Lindsay said, I don't know how it would have been before I met my husband. I was the same way as you, minus the piercing. Yeah. I mean, but like when I used to be in that group, it was called the Pain Tribe, and when I used to be in that group, I mean, we would hang from our backs like on meat hooks, basically, trying to get like a rush of adrenaline. So it's kind of a way to get high without using drugs. Rain on the Plains asked, "Do you think we're in a simulation, Unimundi?" Probably. I think so. It's just, I think it's organic in nature, but it's, I mean, I've said that for a long time. I really think. Shickham says, I prefer not to be manipulated by the AI, Unimundi. Maybe we need to rise above it and short circuit it. I mean, I would love to learn how to do that. Unimundi says 100%. Oh, thank you, Shickham. That was nice. I appreciate that. Scott Bayless says, you were clearly meant to be here with us to do something. Probably. Would you see what she wants? That's my dog. She's barking at me. Let's see. Use lots of hyphens. Shickham says, Scott, we are connected, right? Spiritually, that means. Yeah, and I almost believe that we're all related somehow. If not spiritually related, possibly, genetically related. It's possible. Because really, I mean, with the way things go and with the way people have spread all over the world, there could be some kind of genetic link between us. It's possible. Yeah, it was tough. It's okay though. Lindsay says, whoop, jumped. As a parent, I couldn't imagine that. I had a lot of realizations when I became a mom. Yeah. I just couldn't do that to my children. I don't care what my beliefs were. Poppy Elm says, even if this is a simulation, we aren't really those bags of meat. Our spirits who are who we really are. I agree. Lindsay said, I abused myself because I was abused as well. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Shickham. That was nice. She said I was amazingly strong. I appreciate that. I'll take it. Rain on the Plains. I also believe God isn't making fun. That was a great point. Yeah. It's okay. I mean, I think that whatever we go through in life, we're meant to go through, and I think it's okay. It made us who we are. And if you see the door opening in the background, it's my dogs running back and forth. There's no spirits or anything. Let's see. Hey, meditation man, I just saw that you were here. Let's see. I know it's like skooks, but I don't know why I say shooks. Well, I am Southern, so we mispronounce mostly everything. I don't know why I say that. Let's see. Creek Mary says she doesn't want to be special. Well, I think that just the fact that we have minds, and that we can like step outside and see the beauty of this place. Even though we do see the bad, we can see the beauty and we can appreciate that. And just have that we have the mind to do that makes us special anyway. I think you're special, Creek Mary. Let's see. Patrick says he feels a big connection with all of us, and I do too. I do too. Meditation Man says, when I put content on, it will help y'all get back, you know where. I'm still blocked. I'm sorry you're blocked. I wish I could see your content. Let's see. Scott Baylor says, just got to get on the kratom. Oh, is that like a detox thing? Craig Mary said, I started looking on hard times as training for something coming up to make us strong. I agree. You know, I mean, as most of you know, like I've spent time in prison. I mean, I had a horrible childhood. And I just think, you know, I mean, really, no matter what happens to me, I'm pretty much able to just keep on going. And I think a lot of us are like that. I think that's something we all share. Rain on the Plain says, oh, wait. Yeah, Rain on the Plain says, you know, Monday, you should check out AUG Tella's channel. He pretty much lays out everything. I started from his oldest videos and are going through all of them. I'm going to check that out too. I'm going to write it down. Let's see. Find something to write on that isn't a bill. I think, well, yeah, I'll write on this. Cool. I'm going to look him up. Scott Balo says, some dude is supposed to buy some crap for me soon, so it should be pretty soon. Yeah. I used to watch people detox from opiates, and it's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad deal. And my brothers had to do it a few times, so it's really hard. It can kill you, actually. So whatever you can do. I mean, if that's your choice to do that. Meditate. Patrick Roberts says, Meditation Man, are you blocked in Robert Wood's stream? Oh, he said, yeah. I'm sorry, Meditation Man. That's terrible. It's a pain reliever. Lindsay says, almost the beginning of the month, you're going to feel much better. Hubby's doing great. He's off a week now. Huh. That's cool. My brother was addicted to opiates for years, and he still takes like sleeping pills. So I know he's doing a little bit of something, but it was really rough. I mean, it really tore his body up bad. Unimundi, Rain on the Plains. Thank you. I believe in me. And Yoko. That was cute. I like that. I tell you, Unimoney, you're nearly my most favorite person. I just love watching your videos so much. I look forward to them. I'm like always looking, and if I don't get a notification, I'm making sure I go to your channel and make sure that I see everything you do. Let's see. Yeah, Skookum. I think that's the way you say it. Anyway, she says, if you're rich, you can detox in the hospital with sedation. That's true. You can. If not, I mean, whew, it's bad. And it stinks. It's so bad. Like when all of that stuff's coming out of your system. I was in with a girl who was detoxing. It just makes like the most horrible smells come out of your system. It's bad. It's so bad. Rain on the Plain says, AUG talks about simulation cloning. Who's in control? Ooh, I need to see this person. Because I mean, there's a whole lot I don't know. Like I don't purport to know everything. I mean, I think everybody's got a little piece to the puzzle, and people like that, I'm very interested in seeing. Yeah, he does rock. His videos are awesome. Just say shook him. It's cute. That's making me embarrassed. Yeah, I'd just like to see, what people have to say. I think everybody's got a little piece to this. I really hope that at some point, we figure it out. I'm really worried that if we do figure it out, there will be like a huge shift and we'll all forget again. I'm just worried. I don't know why I think that, but it's just one of those things that I wonder, is that going to happen? I really hope not. And Rain on the Plane says when you watch that guy, start with his oldest videos. Yeah, AUG. That's it. She said it was AUGTELLEZ. No. Skookum or Shookum. Shookum says, well, I know we had a shift this week, hence the Suncatcher debacle. What was the Suncatcher debacle? Did it? Did it go back to yellow? Or did it turn red? I'll tell you, I had to go somewhere really early in the morning, like maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was before sunrise, and I saw something red. I mean, I know I did, and I was like kicking myself, like I should have had a camera or something on me. From faded to bright and new again, huh? Maybe it's like it is in the Book of Enoch, and or I don't know if it's in the Book of Enoch, but I've read somewhere where that God showed Enoch like the systems, like and how it worked, and that suns were like one sun will go out and a new sun will come in. I just wonder if it's like that. Says AUG is awesome. Aluna Ash is great, also not as technical. Says yellow is still faded and the blue got really dark again. Oh, yeah, it's like it seems like towards the afternoon, I've noticed the sun's out, but it's just not bright. And a lot of people think that it's like a sun simulator, and I don't know if that's true, but I mean it could be. It, I just don't see how that's possible. But I mean, if this place is a simulation, anything's possible, isn't it? It's just bizarre to think that this just could all be, I don't know, that it could just like be like a holodeck. There's something about that concept that really upsets me because I think it may be close to true. It may be what it really is. And it may be that we lived on a real place at one time and this is just where we're caught. I mean, those are things I don't know, you know? When I watch that show Westworld, though, it really is upsetting to see the way they create these plasticine people, that bleed, and it would explain body updates, wouldn't it? Or if it was just a computer program, I mean, that explains it, you know? Or if, the past changes, of course, that explains it. We were just created differently. Things just occurred differently in the beginning. I mean, it could all be true. None of it could be true. We just don't know at this point. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be really hard. Definitely going to need something to replace it, though. And unfortunately, weed isn't going to do it. Yeah, it is rough. I mean, and my brother was fortunate. Every time he detoxed off of those opiates, it was like a nice hospital stay. Rain on the Plane says there's a patent for one. Yeah, the artificial sun. It's like Bausch and Lomb has it. And when I first saw that, I think Richie from Boston was the person that put that out. He was the first person I saw. I don't know if he's the one who really put it out, but somebody sent it to him, and I didn't believe it. And I looked up that patent, and it exists. Why would they have a patent for it? And then they have these videos of what it's going to be like when they start to use it. And what benefits it has. Like, why would they put out a video like that if it's not in use? Because, I mean, they'll come out with things and tell you something like years later after they've been doing it for years. I mean, that's what everybody says. Rain on the plane says it was always a simulation, I think. Maybe so. Yeah. Says I'm 95% sure that kratom is an effect for those of us that have this problem. Yeah. I agree. I mean, because I mean, I know I'm in extreme pain every day, but I just learned to live with it. Now, if I could take opiates, I probably would have, but I'm just so severely allergic to them. I got lucky, especially once I see everything my brother went through. I know I'm lucky to be allergic to them because I have an addictive personality really bad. That's why I don't smoke marijuana or anything because if I start to do that, it'll just be a never ending. I mean, I'll smoke it all in one day, or I just it's I can't be successful and have any kind of drugs. Like I have enough issues without adding drugs to the mix. Lens tells Scott, I think you need to prepare yourself for hell for a couple weeks, but in 21 days you can change any habit. Yeah, it's true. I do love Rain's channel too, Meditation Man. Mundi says they have a God simulator too. Yeah, maybe so. Poppy Elm says she has another school meeting tomorrow. I'll try to catch up when we get done. All right. Let's see. Oh, you. Oh, okay. Poppy's leaving. Love you, Poppy. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Linsby said, I've also heard of wild lettuce. Yeah. And she said being helpful, almost like cannabinoids, I think she means. Anybody remember? Oh, cannabis. Cannabis with one N. I don't know if I do. That's something I just don't know. Maybe it did have one N. I don't know. So that's one of those things. I'm just not sure. I'm such a terrible speller, and I sometimes I wonder if it's because words constantly change. Lens B says if I could give birth to two babies, then you can get off those damn pills at Scott Bailo. Oh Lord. Gravy. Let's see. Poppy Elm says, I think giving birth was easier than the constant pain I'm in. Yeah, it's rough. I'm right there with you. At Wascally Rabbit, Martha Jane, all things are possible, but with that being said, belief in one's soul is one of the most important things to keep in mind. That's true. I believe all we really have is our minds, our souls, and our free will. At least when you have a baby, you get something for your trouble. This is true. You get like this wonderful little person. Man, our babies were great. I mean, we used to just sit there and watch them for hours. Like they were television. They're better than any TV program, that's for sure. All right. Says wild lettuce is supposed to get you high, but I've never tried it. And I've seen things on wild lettuce. I think you're supposed to prepare it in a certain way. That you're supposed to cook it down till it's like a black paste. Aw, Scott Baylor, we've been thinking about sweets. We have. That poor little baby kitty. Jacob says, nothing gets me high, damn right here. Me too. I mean, there's just no point in it. I mean, if I start drinking alcohol, within 2 weeks, I'm drinking grown, like big old fat men under the table. My tolerance goes up so quickly. Scott Bale is asking, nothing's being coughed up. He's talking about a sick animal, his kitty cat. Is there supposed to be? And then Shookum answers, well, maybe eventually it has to move up. Mm, I can't afford to pay for enough drinks to get drunk, so don't bother. Yeah. I was a bartender when I was 18 because in Louisiana, I grew up in New Orleans, and in Louisiana, you could bartend at that age. So, I mean, I remember being about 20 years old and like being so drunk, I fell down on the floor of my bedroom. And, at some point I had like pissed myself. I was laying in my own vomit, and I just thought, I just don't want to do this anymore. So I just don't. I mean, I'll drink a beer or something if I'm cooking sometimes, but it's just not for me. And the smell of alcohol, like on my husband's breath, just neither one of us likes it on the other because we both had fathers that drank and were abusive. So it's just not. It's not something I like. That's not for me. I mean, everybody can do what they want, but it's like a trigger, for terrible memories. Scott Baylor says, "Gotta find some kind of drug or something for you. Fuck being sober." I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Creek Mary. Yes, I can remember the room spinning. That was so horrible. I just don't like it. Just reminds me. Just reminds me so much of my childhood. My father was an attorney, and he worked for like an oil company, and he was like the boss, and because of his social standing basically. And we never saw him. He was gone when we woke up. And we had people raising us anyway. We never really saw my mom was kind of like a socialite. And so but when he would come home, I mean, he would just drink till he would just come home at 7 at night and just drink till he would eat dinner and drink till he passed out, and was extremely abusive. So fuck that. Dark Woolston, I have the opposite problem. I have a glass of wine and if I have a glass of wine, I'm drinking the bottle, so I just don't bother. And Dark Woolston, my body doesn't process alcohol very well. Unimundi says, "Thank you, my family. My nose is asking for meds, my lungs are asking for fresh THC, and my phone calls is asking for battery. Love you all. This is the greatest channel ever seen." Oh, thank you. You are very kind, and I really appreciate you, and that you took the time to even come here. That's really amazing to me. I'm a big fan. Thank you so much for being here. Shookum says, "I get wobbly with a muscle relaxant. Does that count?" Oh, hugs back. That's awesome. I mean, that's just like that, y'all. That's like a celebrity being up in here for me. I mean, just seeing like somebody with such a brilliant mind is just, it's just amazing that people are like that, that there are humans here that are just so brilliant. Oh, I got some roses. I haven't got those in a few weeks. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Scott Balo. Thank you, Dark Wolf. That's nice. I will take it. Yeah, we do love you, and Monday. We all look forward to all your content. It's just always so awesome. Yeah, I grow. I have some roses in the back, and I love like rose Kool-Aid. That's my jam. I just love it so much. You can buy the syrup. Like my sister lives in Cyprus, so she used to, well, we don't talk now because of all this, but she used to send me like the rose syrup to make rose Kool-Aid, and I love that. So I try to grow edible roses and end up making rose water and things. So my husband will pick them and bring them to me. So it's nice. Yeah, rose tea. I love drinking rose products. It's so good. I even like to make like kombucha and then put like rose petals in there. It's so delicious. I just really enjoy it. You can get that here, dude. I just love it. I wish they made it here. They just don't. You either have to get it imported from France or I get it from my sister. Well, I used to before she stopped talking to me. I don't know what time I have to work tomorrow. My boss sends us our schedule like at 9 o'clock at night on Sunday. It's just gotten ridiculous. But I just got my schedule not that long ago, and I have to be to work at 10 in the morning, which means I have to wake up 2 hours before that to get ready and put on stupid makeup that I hate. So I love you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and bye, Dark Wolf. He says he'd be right back, but I love y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I'm getting kind of tired, and I know I have to be rested up so I can act happy when people buy engagement rings tomorrow. Right on the plane says, I know I thumbed up your video earlier, just had to do it again. Oh, yeah, it's the AI. That's all right. All right, guys. Well, I love y'all. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with me for a bit. It really means a lot, like all of your, all of y'all being in the chat and talking to me. It helps. I think, a lot of this really helps all of y'all. I know it helps me, if anything else. Scott Bayless says, love y'all, especially you, Martha. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. All right. Good night, people. And I'll be back on tomorrow at 11 o'clock if you're interested. Oh, thank you, Wesley Rabbit. I love you guys too. And y'all have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye.